the morale must be high in the team. But with the first win out of the way, I think would you say that New Zealand is is coming to Bangladesh at the perfect time with having beaten South Africa?
Yeah, I think first of all, whilst we were very happy with the victory over South Africa, we all recognise that that's just one game, and we've got another 8 to go. So it was one we could tick off as a victory, but we didn't want to get too carried away. And we know the people back home are delighted and obviously jumping up and down with what we've done in beating South Africa. But the team and the staff, they know that the task is going to be tough against some of these teams, and New Zealand are just one of those sides. They gave us a decent hiding this winter, and you know, we're hopeful that we are in better shape. The answer is we are in better shape taking them on this time round. But they're a tough opposition, like many of the top 4 or 5 teams in the world, and it'll be difficult.
The 2017 game, would that play in your mind, play in the players' mind as well, because it was a comeback?
Yeah, I think it's good memories, and all memories that are good for your confidence, and a lot of them will be repeating, you know, those that day. And thankfully, we've got quite a few players who were involved in that day, so they'll share those memories with the other guys.
Steve, you didn't have a training yesterday, and probably today the training is going to be hampered for the weather. So how do you approach the match preparation-wise, and how important is going to be the mental preparation?
Well, when we have, we needed to have a break yesterday. We had a tough game, and as typical in England, you cannot guarantee the weather. I think it was meant to be okay, but it's curtailed or frustrated us a little bit now with the wet weather around. But thank goodness for Ireland. Thank goodness for going over to Ireland and playing some cricket and getting used to Northern Hemisphere conditions. And thank goodness to the little camp we had in Leicester, as well as our preparation for the games. So what I'm really meaning is, if preparations weren't as good as they have been, then we would have been worried about a lack of cricket today. So we're not that worried. Thankfully, most of the boys are in reasonable nick, and mentally, I think that's a good thing. If they know they're in good condition, then they'll be ready for the game tomorrow.
Couple of questions, Steve. Firstly, when you joined Bangladesh, was this the start that you're looking for at the World Cup? Because your team is quite big on making starts, whether it's whether they're batting first or bowling first or a first game. And secondly, what does a coach add to a team which is quite experienced right now? You have players who've played 200 matches, and you have a number of experienced players. So what can you add to this setup?
Okay, so I'll go the wrong way around. I'll go the second question first, and then you'll remind me of the first question, because I'll forget. But secondly, yes, we've got some very experienced players in the dressing room who've played many international ODIs and have played many times in England. And it would be wrong for me to dictate to those sort of players. You know, they know their game very, very well. They know international cricket very well. So I'm here to support, enhance what they've got, make sure we stay on the right track, and have a little bit of English experience behind some of the suggestions. And we are lucky. We've got a vastly experienced squad, played many internationals, and I'm happy for that. I think the balance is good, and people keep telling me I'm a novice at world events, cricket events, and they keep telling me that we need experience. Well, we've got experience, and I think the mistake we could make, if we did make a mistake, it would be trying to dominate the experienced guys. Let's listen to what they've got to say. Let's pick their brains and make sure that we get every ounce of experience going into our decision making and how we play and who we play.
And about what you might have thought on the first day of the job.
Okay, yes, yeah. Well, the first day on tour was a 46 all out, as everybody keeps mentioning in a test match. But no, I think it's been a really interesting year. I'm very happy with our cricket. It was very important for me not to change what we were doing a lot, really. I think we were starting to make some really good strides with white ball 50 over cricket, and to have a new new coach come in and try and dominate in a different fashion, well, that's not going to work. So my role was to have a good look at what we were doing well, try and enhance that even more. But I think maybe the important thing, what I've been trying to do with the team, is to give them responsibility and let them go out there and make those decisions for themselves, because they learn a lot from those decisions going right and going wrong. And Bangladesh cricket then will be in a better position going forward, and that's the senior guys as well as the younger guys as well. Let them enjoy their successes and failures and learn from them, and that's been the way I've been approaching my coaching with Bangladesh.
That win over South Africa surprised a lot of people, but does that change your target for this World Cup in any way?
No. First of all, the win over South Africa, I mean, I came to the England-South Africa game. I watched every ball bowled, scouted it. I was delighted with the surface, what I saw, and I was delighted when I couldn't really see another pitch cut out, and I had a hunch that we might be playing on the same pitch. When I found that out the next day in practice, I was delighted. I thought that was a great opportunity for Bangladesh to try and take South Africa. We needed them to maybe have a slightly off day and us play very well, and that sort of thing happened on the day. It'll be a really big challenge tomorrow against New Zealand on a fresh pitch, but and a more difficult challenge than South Africa was on that pitch. Has it changed our sort of goals? Well, we know we need to get so many wins to qualify. We're not bothered who the wins come against. We've just got to make sure we get those wins, and they'll all be difficult. You know, New Zealand will be difficult. South Africa was difficult, but we managed to pull that one off. So the goals remain the same. We just want to try and take every game as it comes. I know it's a cliche, but you can't get too far ahead and think too far ahead. We've just got to get wins on the board, and whatever game comes up, the object is to try and win that game.
Steve, how have you gelled the team in the wake of the Christchurch mosque attacks, and has it liberated the players in the way that they approach the game?
Well, I've got so much respect for the players, the way that they've handled themselves after that event, the way that they've got themselves through it all. They're just celebrating Eid now, the end of Ramadan, and that's been tough for many of the boys, but I think it helps. In many ways, the Christchurch awful day and the shootings, it seems to have, they've got some sort of brotherhood there now. They've shared with other Muslims who sadly perished that day, but the experience they went through together on that coach, and I think it somehow gelled them, and I think that, you know, they've actually got solace from each other. They've tried to help each other through it, and you know, I've got a lot of respect and admiration for the way they've pulled through, because you know, there's a lot of smiley faces at the moment. And going back to that day in Christchurch, you know, I was thinking, how do we get a team back together after this? But they've done it. It's not been anything special from me. I've just tried to carry on as normal because I thought that was the right thing to do. And the support that they've given each other has been the main thing. I think it would have been a big mistake to make such a big thing of it. I think that they knew what they needed to do, and I've been there just to carry on as normal. And as I said before, I've got a lot of respect for them for how they've got through it all.
Steve, as you mentioned that the match against New Zealand will be very difficult. As we have heard, the next match will be in a very new pitch, and the weather could remain like gloomy and foggy, and there could be a wind. If it is like that, there should be some swings from the New Zealand pacers. So it will be more difficult to handle if the weather stays like that.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't get too carried away with the weather. I think we know that New Zealand have got a couple of little chinks in their armour as a 50 over side, but they're a very good 50 over side as well. We've had a very good team meeting back at the hotel before we arrived here, and we aim to try and maximise those weaknesses, but every team's got strengths, every team's got weaknesses, and we have too, and they know them, and they'll be trying to expose our weaknesses, but I'm not too worried about the weather coming into play or anything like that, but I just hope that we can get in a situation where we can expose their Achilles heel.
Last three questions.
Following up on that, what do you regard as this New Zealand team's biggest strengths, and how are you planning to counter them?
Well, they're strengths for everybody to see. I'm not going to go into detail about what we perceive as their weakness, but they're a wicket-taking bowling unit. Trent Boult has been very good with the new ball, so he's a guy that we need to have a good day against, but we are capable of doing that with our batting lineup. They've got some wicket takers throughout the innings with the ball, and they're an excellent fielding side. They play in a nice, relaxed manner with confidence. So those are the strengths, and you know, that's why they're ranked where they are in international cricket, and at the moment doing very, very well. Their batting, you know, somebody like Kane is important to them. He's a glue that holds the innings together. So, and also their attacking players at the top of the order and around Kane Williamson. Those are the type of guys that would like to try and take the game away from the opposition. So those are their strengths. Probably didn't need me to tell you that. Everybody else in the world knows that as well.
Steve, coach, are you staying same 11 against New Zealand, or need to change?
No, I don't tell the media what 11 we're going to play with. I just see it crazy as giving too much away to the opposition, and I can't tell you anyway because we're about to have a selection meeting, so I can't give you that answer.